around Flip shimmered like sunlight on water. Her whiskers twitched. She had been here before, on the edge of time. The glowing time pebble pulsed in her paw, ready to take her to the next chapter of Earth's story. "Where to now?" she whispered. The light burst, and in an instant, she was gone, spinning backward through millions of years, until her paws landed in shallow, crystal-clear water. Welcome to the Devonian. 419 million years ago, Flip looked around. The world was warm. The ocean sparkled under the sun, and the coastline stretched far and green. But the green wasn't grass, not yet. It was early land plants, mosses, horsetails, and strange fern-like forms just starting to take over the land. The air smelled fresh, almost young. This was a planet transforming, both in water and on land. Beneath the surface, the Devonian seas were alive like never before. Flip's eyes widened. There were fish everywhere, huge armored placoderms with jaws like steel traps, swift sharks slicing through the water, and elegant, lobe-finned fish slowly perfecting the art of swimming. Scientists call this time the Age of Fishes because marine life exploded in diversity. It was here that fish developed stronger fins, better jaws, and the first signs of lungs. A shadow loomed. Flip turned and froze. It was Dunkleosteus, one of the largest predators of its time. Its head was covered in thick armor plates, and its jaw could snap shut with the force of a modern crocodile. Flip held perfectly still, her tail puffed out. Thankfully, Dunkleosteus had other fish in mind for lunch and swam away, leaving Flip in a cloud of bubbles. Flip swam toward what she thought was a forest, but it wasn't trees, it was coral. The Devonian was the golden age of reef building. Coral reefs stretched for hundreds of kilometers, home to trilobites, sea scorpions, and bright-colored fish. This was one of Earth's greatest underwater cities, a place full of shelter, danger, and endless food. Curiosity pulled Flip toward the land. The shore was muddy, dotted with strange green stalks. And then, movement. A creature the size of a small lizard dragged itself onto the sand using strong, fin-like limbs. It was Tectalic, a true pioneer, half fish, half amphibian, one of the first vertebrates to explore land. Flip's eyes sparkled. This was the start of something huge, life's conquest of land. Deeper inland, Flip discovered Archopterus, the first true tree. Its tall trunk and leafy branches cast shadows across the ground. This was Earth's first forest. The trees pumped oxygen into the air, slowly shaping the atmosphere for future life, including Flip's own distant ancestors. Flip took a deep breath. It felt heavier. The Devonian atmosphere was still lower in oxygen than today, but the new forests were working hard to change that. Every leaf, every moss patch was part of a planet-wide experiment in air making. Flip's whiskers twitched at the thought. Plants and animals, reshaping the world together. As Flip swam toward the shallow coastline, something extraordinary caught her eye. The land. was alive. Where once there had been only bare rock and low mosses, now towering green plants reached toward the sky, the first true trees in Earth's history. These were the Archopterus, giants with woody trunks and fern-like leaves, some growing over 30 meters tall. The air was different here, richer, fresher. The forests were changing the atmosphere, pumping out oxygen and drawing down carbon dioxide, reshaping the planet's climate. Flip paddled closer, fascinated, watching strange insects the size of her paw buzzing through the ferns. These forests were more than just beautiful. They were engineering the world, creating soils, stabilizing riverbanks, and opening the door for life to expand onto land. And then she saw it. A creature unlike any fish she had ever seen, crawling awkwardly from the shallows onto the muddy bank. It had 4 sturdy limbs, a flat head, and eyes on top. Tectalic, one of the first vertebrates to bridge the worlds of water and land. Flip's whiskers twitched with awe. This was the moment when oceans gave birth to pioneers who would one day walk, run, and even fly. It was clumsy, slow, and small, but it was history in motion. The Devonian wasn't just the age of fishes. It was the age when forests rose and life dared to take its first breath of open air. A flash of movement caught her eye. Sharks, smaller than modern great whites, but just as sleek, zipped past. One species, Cladoselache, had a torpedo-shaped body perfect for speed. Unlike many modern sharks, it didn't have spines or heavy armor, just pure muscle and agility. This was the era where sharks began their long reign. Something huge scuttled along the seabed. It looked like a crab, but the size of a human. This was Euripid, the sea scorpion, a terrifying predator of the shallows. Its long pincers searched the sand for prey, and Flip decided this was one Devonian creature she'd rather admire from a distance. The Devonian wasn't always calm. Climate shifts brought droughts to some areas, forcing fish like Tiktaalik to explore land for food and safety. This push and pull between wet and dry shaped evolution, rewarding creatures that could handle both worlds. Flip could almost see the future. Amphibians, reptiles, mammals, all starting here. Flip spotted something darting between plants. A bug, but not like the ones she knew. This was Rhinognatha, one of the earliest known winged insects. They were tiny but important. The first flyers in Earth's history, paving the way for future swarms of bees, dragonflies, and butterflies. But the Devonian had a dark side. Toward its end, marine life faced a mass extinction. Rising seas, changing temperatures, and falling oxygen levels wiped out many reef species. Flip could feel the shift. Fewer fish, quieter waters. It was a reminder that even in times of growth, nature's balance can be fragile. Flip stood at the edge of the first forest, her paws pressed into the soft, ancient soil. She looked out at the land and sea, knowing she had witnessed a turning point in life's story. The time pebble began to glow again. It was time to leave and see where history would take her next. Flip the cat vanished in a swirl of light, leaving the Devonian behind. She had seen the first trees, the rise of the fishes, and the bold leap of life onto land. But her journey was far from over. Next time, she would travel to an age of giants. If you've enjoyed exploring deep time with Flip, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss her next adventure through Earth's ancient history. After all, there's still so much more to discover.